Hey everybody, welcome to Verified Investing. My name is Gareth Soloway, Chief Market Strategist here. In today's video, I want to give you a chart set up on Campbell's that looks like it's about ready to make a breakout. All right, so this would be a buy on Campbell's. We're going to take a look at the chart. I will go through it step by step so you fully understand the technical analysis that's giving me this upside near term and midterm bias. So let's get right into it here. If we take a look here at the chart of Campbell's, it doesn't look like a great chart when you first look at it, right? It's been beaten down. It certainly is no NVIDIA chart, which has just gone straight up to the moon. In fact, we can see going back to 2024, this was a $53 stock. It is now currently trading around $32.50. But that is incorrect if you're looking at that analysis, because now is the time, based on the chart, to buy it. Why? Let's take a look. So first things first, we see this last dip here and this move back up. So what I like to show people is what's called in technical analysis a cup, and look at the handle pattern. Beautiful, beautiful handle pattern. Okay, now that is a bullish setup in technical analysis. Again, that's a chart that in general, and remember, technical analysis is not foolproof, but it gives us probabilities. So the idea here, folks, is that ultimately this setup has about a 70% chance of playing out to the upside. Now, we're going to add additional factors to this so that we can ultimately get it maybe to 75 or 80% success rate to the upside in the near term. So let's dive back into the chart here and take a look. So I'm going to raise the cup and handle. We all see it there. The next thing we want to do is zoom way out on the chart. In fact, let's go to the weekly chart and come all the way out here. Now, one thing that's catching my eye, look at this, guys. There's a major low from 2011 in August that we can put a line through, and that gives us exactly the low that we are currently seeing. So you can see it right here. Major low before this big bull move. All right, this was kind of the all-time high on Campbell's there. And then this big pullback, which obviously occurred in 2016, 17, 18. Then these choppy actions since then until this recent decline. All right, so now we know we have Campbell's that has just hit a major pivot low. That gives us a support structure for looking and saying, okay, there should be minimal risk to Campbell's down in this range. Okay, now again, Campbell's, I think it's important to understand, is Campbell's has been a stock that has not been popular because it is not a tech stock. It is not an AI stock. It is basically a defensive name. But we know that Warren Buffett recently got into UNH as a defensive name that's been beaten down. Campbell's, if we do see a recession, if you're someone that sees a recession on the horizon, if you've been taking note of the inflation numbers, PPI last week was very, very hot. If we're taking note of the jobs data starting to stall out, these are all signals of a slowing economy. Does soup and staples like that, canned soup, do they do better during recessions or expansionary periods? And the answer is recessions. In addition, you have a lot of money flow that has flowed from names like Campbell's into names like NVIDIA, Broadcom, all the AI ancillary plays, etc. And there should be a reversion trade with money flow coming back to these names. Now, we know about that. Now it makes more sense. Hit support, and on the daily chart, it's starting to put in a bull flag off a cup and handle pattern. All right, lastly, there's another line that I'm watching in the sand. Look at this, guys. Look at this. So high pivot going back to September, cuts right through here, touches exactly here in March of 2025. And look, we're hammering on it. Looks like it's just about to break out. I think this play breaks out in the next week or two, and I actually think I'll show you guys my longer-term target. But again, the cup and handle nearing a breakout level. The bull flag, which is the handle portion, looks great off of major, major technical support down here going back to 2011. And if you're looking for where this play could ultimately go, take a trend line here, drag it all the way through those highs, and you also have double top right here. And look, that's your upside target. All right, at least that's one upside target. If you want to be more conservative, which I don't mind, I think being conservative is very, very smart. And again, this is more for swing traders. You're going to look for this area. This was technical support here, here, and then notice we kind of broke below it and came down. So price in the near term, I would expect, and again, it's trading currently around $32.50. So if we look at this, so near term, I think upside, and near term for me is the next couple months. I think you're looking at around a 21% move. If you're very patient and you're a longer term investor, you'd likely be looking at about a 60% move. Again, I'm a swing trader, so I'd be more looking for that 21% move over the next couple months. But what's interesting here is if this play does break out, it probably tells us the stock market is coming in, which means technology stocks are coming in. So the net, I mean, you could see tech stocks drop 10% or 15% and Campbell's go up 20%, let's say. That's a net difference of 35%, let's say. And so again, versus having your money in those tech stocks. So this to me is a great setup, folks. A great setup. It's defensive. It pays a dividend, so you get the dividend as well. Again, it's not flashy. It's not sexy, but sometimes those are the plays that ultimately are the ones to play, as we see from Warren Buffett picking up a big position in UNH. Certainly not a hot play right now, but he sees value here, and he obviously has so much cash on the sidelines that he thinks there could be trouble ahead. So again, I like Campbell's here. I gave you guys my thesis, my chart analysis. Have a great rest of your day, folks. Don't forget, feel free to join Smart Money Stocks and ETFs, where we pick up positions like this. In fact, we had UNH in the Dividend Trader, which is part of Smart Money Stocks and ETFs. What a move on that. Again, picking it up just like Warren Buffett saw. We saw value there, and that thing has taken off. And actually, we took half off the table in the Dividend Trader. We're going to hold the rest and get some dividends out of it. But you got to take, again, you got to take a little bit off the table after such a huge run. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. I much appreciate it. Again, come to verifiedinvesting.com, where it's no BS. Just chart analysis, which gives us probabilities, essentially making us the casino, not the gambler. Have a good one, guys. Take care.